And notice now from that point of view, Allah gave us one of His names to protect our dunya, Rabbil Falaq. But Allah gave us three of His names to protect our deen. Rabbil Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. You see that? Because our deen is something that will beautify, in a sense, it will beautify our dunya and it will beautify our akhirah. It actually combines both of them together. So it's far more emphatic in that sense. Now, the other thing, I'll briefly mention an oversimplified translation of the surah before I talk about, because it is one sentence, so it's probably best that we just read the entire sentence and understand it. And I'm not going to cite the Arabic, I'll just go through it in English. I hold on for protection, for refuge, to the master of people, to the king of people, to the God of people, from the evil of the whisperer that continuously disappears, Al-Khannas, the one who continuously disappears and reappears, the one who whispers into the chests of people from among the jinn and from among people. Okay, so this is the statement that we're working with. Now, notice in the beginning, Allah mentioned three of His names in succession. And Allah has many names. But the three names He chose in the surah are Rabb, then Malik, and then Ilah. There are lots of observations about the choice of these three names. It's peculiar that these three names are coming with each other here. They don't come together in this way anywhere else, right? And even the Prophet ﷺ describing these two surahs said, Allah has given me the likes of which was not given in previous scripture and never were they given before. And in many ways, they are unique to the entire Quran. You know, the vocabulary used in them, the sequence used in them, even the entire surah being one sentence other than Surah Al-Asr. You don't really have, one surah, 6 ayat, just one sentence being an entire surah. But in any case, one thing that I do want to highlight as for starters is that these names of Allah all refer to His divinity. In other words, Allah has many names, like He's the merciful one, the creator, the protector, all these different names. But our relationship of worship with Him and our powerlessness and our insignificance before our mighty Allah, though no names capture that better than Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. It's, in a sense, it's putting us in awe of Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay? So our spiritual relationship with Allah, our ibadah to Allah, at the heart of that ibadah are these three names: Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. Okay? And they are a progression also. So that's what I want to share with you next. And that, by the way, the fact that these are, these powerful names of us being enslaved to Allah is important, because what we're asking Allah for protection from, we're asking Allah protection from whispers of the devil and all of this stuff which we'll get to. Those whispers become powerless because you are in the protection of your Rabb, your Malik, your Ilah. You've sworn your loyalty to Him, which means that He will take care of you. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's the first three names that are mentioned here that, just like in Falaq, Rabbil Falaq solved the rest of the problem, these three names are solving the rest of the problem. But there's from a human point of view, it's actually a really interesting progression also. Let's think about these words before we get to Nas. These three words, Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. And I'll do the etymology of them too. Rabb actually in Arabic is used also for owners, like Rabbul Bayt, Rabbul Dar. Okay, so someone who owns a house is called Rabbul Bayt. Okay, so Rububiyah can be in the language even for small things. Okay, so you have a problem with somebody who owns a property. You go to the Rabb of that place. Maybe they couldn't solve that problem for you. They didn't address your problem. They're just the owner, in a sense. Rabb is one of the meanings of Rabb is owner. But they couldn't solve your problem. When human beings go to one person who has some authority, some control, and they can't solve their problem, they go to a higher authority. The higher authority above that would be the king. The owner couldn't help you. I'm going to go to the government. The government would be who? The king. The king can't even help you. Well, all I have left to do now is turn to God. Rabb, Malik, and then Ilah. There's a progression in need. And Allah is telling us, when you're looking for the Rabb to help you, it's Allah. When you're looking for the Malik, it's Allah. And when you're looking for the Ilah, it's Allah. That progression, it begins and ends with Allah. In any other, it would be one to the higher one to the higher one, but actually in our case, all of it is just Allah Azza wa Jal, from beginning to end. It's as if Allah is saying, from your smallest need to your greatest of needs, the one you turn to is Allah. The most immediate of needs from your Rabb to the most grand of needs to your Ilah, you will turn yourself to Allah Azza wa Jal. Okay.